In this segment of the Ellis Market Report and Money Talk Radio, we speak with Roger Rosmus, the CEO of Goliath Resources, trading as GOT on the TSX Venture Exchange, and in the U.S. on the OTCQB as GOTRF. Goliath Resources is a junior resource exploration company of precious metal projects in the prolific Golden Triangle and northwestern areas of British Columbia. The company is on track with a new discovery of a large, high-grade gold system at its Golddigger property that was never drilled before in the Golden Triangle of B.C. It remains open. The Surebet discovery was never explored or drilled before due to a previous glacier and permanent snowpack covering it. The project is located in a world-class geological setting and mining-friendly jurisdiction. The Golddigger property sits on tidewater and has excellent infrastructure with a permitted mill site in Kitsault nearby. Significant shareholders include Crescat Capital, Eric Sprott, Rob McEwen, and a global commodity group based in Singapore. The newly discovered Surebet is a very robust and structurally controlled series of 10 high-grade gold veins, shears with superior continuity and predictability hosted within the Hazelton sediments and volcanics over a 1.8 square kilometer area. It has 2.1 kilometers of exposed mineralization at surface. Select assay results from 2023 drill core include 65 grams per ton of gold equivalent over 7.9 meters, including 86.99 grams per ton gold equivalent over 5.9 meters. Mr. Rosmus has over 25 years of investment banking experience in the public and private sector. He has acted as lead on over 30 M&A transactions, and through his previously owned exempt market dealer firm, completed many financings. Roger, welcome to the program. It's great to visit with you today.
Ellis, thanks so much. I know it's been a while time coming, so to speak, but I'm glad to be here. Thanks so much.
We've known each other probably about 7 or 8 years, and this is the first time we've connected officially as a sponsor of this program. I don't even know where to begin. The name of your company is called Goliath. We should just add massive to that. Another iteration of the company could be called Massive. And you've named the various zones within your Golddigger property: Surebet, Jackpot, Bonanza, and it doesn't disappoint because according to what I've been reading on your website and in your news releases, you have 3 ounces per ton in some of the assays of gold equivalent. And I'm sorry, but I've not covered a company like this in the past.
Yeah, everything would be great if it was all 3 ounce, but that's not really the case in this particular juncture. But we definitely do have some high-grade zones from the drill bit where we are seeing over 1 ounce per ton material up to over 9 meters true width type of thing. So obviously from the channel cuts, some of the surface samples over Jackpot, we've got that super high-grade zone there, which we drilled this year as well. So it was a maiden drill program in 2024.
Not everything is a win in the Golden Triangle and Northwest British Columbia. How did you find this property and how did you know it was going to be so prolific, or did you?
The harder we work, the luckier we get. Essentially, it was really to do with really the global climate change, where a lot of these, let's call it these new findings that we're bringing to surface, so to speak, is the fact that the glaciers are no longer there. Permanent snowpack is no longer there, or certainly glaciers are receding and exposing brand new outcrops of mineralization that have never been seen before.
So this is something that's happened within the last 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, for sure. At Surebet, probably in the last 3 to 5 years. If you go to Google Earth, look at some of the images, you'll see certain areas, looks like it's all just one big sheet of ice, but clearly it's not the case. Brand new outcrops we're seeing every year, even more so further to the north on our property. On the Canberra ice fields, we're seeing brand new outcrops, again, never been seen before, and some that have pretty interesting, excessive type of mineralization and surface.
I'm not one to usually drink the Kool-Aid, especially with climate change, but according to what I'm hearing now, it's real.
Exactly. So here's some of the benefits of what's happening, and some would argue that we're actually in a cool down phase. So as the moisture rises, clouds are going to come in and the earth is going to get cooler, depending on who you're talking to. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but certainly we are reaping some of the rewards of obviously what's happening in this part of the world.
Tell us about the latest drill program and where you're headed for the coming 6 months to a year. We're coming into winter right now. What are you going to be doing?
We'll be waiting for results. We drilled quite a few holes this year. We drilled over 38,000 meters in total, including at Surebet and up at our Treasure Islands up on the Canberra ice fields. And we did 64 holes at Surebet, 12 holes at Treasure Island. And then there was a number of holes that we went and re-assayed from the previous year. So we have actually 105 holes right now to be reported over the coming months, weeks, etc. With the idea, we want to be releasing these results, not one-off holes, two-off holes. We want to release them off in a kind of a systematic approach where you put some context to, say, 6 holes or so in one part of the lodes, because we do have a number of stacked of these shear zones or veins in the system. So we want to be able to demonstrate that there is continuity there.
Two of your most significant shareholders, Eric Sprott and Rob McEwen, are involved in Goliath. That's quite extraordinary.
Yeah, Rob is recently shareholders of last year. He came in, recently participated in a financing that we just closed here last month. So he's around that 3.9% on a partially diluted basis. And then Eric Sprott has been involved with the company even before we actually drilled the Surebet. And that was shortly thereafter when Crescat Capital came in as a major shareholder in December of 2020. So this is a maiden drill program. Essentially, we've been over 2 kilometers of mineralization exposed at surface wrapping around this mountain. And what we had done in 2020, we took a series of channel cuts all the way down the side of this mountain across this mineralized zone and came back with some double-digit intercepts as well as double-digit numbers in the gold side of things. Quentin quickly realized the significance of this meant. Essentially, channel cut is a horizontal drill hole, certainly from the fact that we have 700 meters of vertical relief. And Crescat came in December of 2020. And I guess Quentin was speaking with Eric on some other names and what have you. And Goliath came up and he was quite excited to put his money into the company, which was fantastic.
Visible gold on the property. You can walk along and see it. And I've seen one of the rocks there. I think it's a 7 millimeter or 9 millimeter gold leaf. That's quite outstanding on just a rock. It's exciting if you can see it. You don't have to drill down for hundreds of meters, although I'm sure you will at some point. That's just outstanding.
We haven't defined a resource yet. That's certainly something that will happen down the road, but coming out of this year's drill season, 92% of the holes did have visible gold and or abundant visible gold. I guess it was like around 30 some odd percent had abundant BG, which is pretty exceptional. You don't find that very often. And what does it tell us? High probability that the assays are going to come back with some decent numbers. But obviously we have to wait for assays to come back, and it certainly gives a really good indication that we're obviously drilling in the right area and really have a good understanding of this system and certainly where this high-grade zone or zones are. And that's what everyone wants, or any senior miner is looking for, like a 1 to 2 million ounces of high-grade mineralization. If you look at Premier Mine, I think they initially outlined or delineated about 1 million ounces at half an ounce per ton gold equivalent.
We're coming across, these are my words, a gold super cycle right now. We've got the commodity itself at well over $2,600 US an ounce. We'll most likely head up to $3,000 at some point. There are predictions that the dollar is going to take a hit in the near future, or continue to take a hit, I should say. We've got a stock here as of this broadcast at about $1.23 Canadian, 89 cents US. That's good for junior mining companies. It's great, but still potentially highly undervalued. Why do you think that is? Why haven't we caught up with the commodities yet with regard to the equities themselves?
That's a great question. This disconnect has been going on for quite some time. You know, we're thinking, oh, hey, we'll get to $2,500 gold or $2,300 gold. That juniors are going to catch up eventually, but it's just part of the cycle. And we are in the early stage, I believe. We are seeing M&A cycle start, which is a good indicator. And then ultimately, this should really be trickling down to the juniors at some point, because as we all know, all the seniors are running out of mineralization. Every day, they're pulling gold out of the ground that they need to replace in for the future. Companies such as Goliath, we're the ones up there taking the big risks, doing these extensive drill programs where they can come in and eyeball this thing and say, hey, is this going to be a potential tier 1 asset at some point? And that's what we really hope to do at the end of the season. Once we finish our job, I do believe this will be a tier 1 asset, and I do believe this will be a mine one day.
And that's the exit strategy for you. Prove the resource and marry one of the suitors.
That's one of the strategies. Certainly that could be door number 1. Door number 2 is we do have the town of Kitsault, which was built by Phelps Dodge back in the late 70s for the Moly mine. And the actual mine itself, or the mine site, permitted site, is right next door. It's still there. There's no equipment left there, but it is a facility that could actually be put back into production, which again could be an option for Goliath if we build the team out to bring on the right type of folks that have done this before. Our backgrounds are primarily project generation, or that's door number 2. Or door number 3, do we go and high grade this thing? Again, if we can show that there's possibly 1 million to 2 million ounces of super high grade material, I'm talking half an ounce up to an ounce, with good consistency, robust kind of predictability, as we have in our Bonanza Golden Triangle that we've outlined. There's quite a bit of ore that could be there, but again, just need more drilling, increase the confidence level. And obviously we're waiting for assays on, I guess there's around 19 holes that needs to come out of there, but we do already have a number of holes that are over 1 ounce material, with, I think the lowest width we have is about 5.25, which is true width. And then it goes up to just over 9 meters true width. And we've just peppered the heck out of this area in 2024, and with 50-meter, 100-meter step outs, as well as we stepped out 700 meters to the northeast, and then about 400 and some odd meters to the northwest. And again, if this all comes true, that is consistent, let's say between those 5 to 9 meters at this high grade material, then we could essentially have another potential premier type of a scenario out of the gate.
How are you fixed for all that you need to do in the ground over the coming months and year?
Yeah, no, good question. We just completed raising just over $16 million for the companies. What's been difficult for a lot of juniors to raise capital, and the fact that we were able to upsize this financing multiple times, bringing in this group out of Singapore, global-based commodity group, as well as attracting Larry Childress, who was the second largest shareholder of Noront before that got taken out for $700 million-ish, and then he's now the second largest shareholder of Fireweed Metals, second behind the Lundin family. We've really attracted some really interesting folks onto the stir, which is great. Again, it's just a testament to the quality of this discovery. Why is the share cap as low as it is right now? I see that as an opportunity for people to come in and add to their positions if they wish, based on the fact that just doing the math on some of these horizons that we do have, as well as this high-grade triangle within the Bonanza, I do think that we're going to be ready for a re-rate, assuming the assays come back positive as we expect.
Roger, it's been great catching up with you. I look forward to more conversations in the near future. Thanks so much for joining me today on the program.
Thanks, Ellis. Look forward to our next chat.
I've been speaking with Roger Rosmus, the CEO of Goliath Resources, trading as GOT on the TSX Venture Exchange and in the U.S. on the OTCQB as GOTRF. Go to the company's website, GoliathResourcesLTD.com. For Money Talk Radio, I'm Ellis Martin. Get a free subscription to the Ellis Martin Report. Go to ellis.gold.